Marine pollution is dangerous and can affect everyone in our daily lives. The amount of water on Earth is finite, and it must be preserved. 71% of the Earth's surface is water. Humans need about half a gallon of water per day. Both animals and humans cannot survive without clean, unpolluted water. One of the ways to preserve is to stop water pollution. Marine pollution is a large problem. In order to produce an effective solution, we must focus on the prominent factors and then discuss several solutions. Two of the major contributing factors in marine pollution are oil spills and non-point source pollution. The effective solution would mitigate both these factors. Before proposing a solution, there must first be a description of the problem. The first problem would be non-point source pollution, or NPS. One of the largest causes of marine pollution is called non-source pollution. In their article, Chow, Yang, and McCoy identify the problem. Non-point source (NPS) pollution is pollution affecting a water body from diffuse sources, rather than a point source which discharges a water body to a single location. It was ranked by the U.S. as Environmental Protection Agency as the leading cause of water pollution in the United States. Since NPS may derive from many different sources, it is difficult to regulate specific solutions to rectify the situation are problematic. This also known as diffuse pollution. It is called this because the pollution comes from multiple sources. These sources include large factories in agricultural areas. They also include small sources like cars, trucks, or boats. The common link between all these sources is human activity. This type of pollution gets to the water in different ways. The major way is through land runoff. Non-point source pollution through land runoff accounts for 80% of all marine pollution. Polluted runoff from factories or even from cars and trucks drains in small tributaries and then ends up in lakes, rivers, and streams. Runoff is liquefied pollution. Another type of non-point source pollution is airborne. This happens when winds carry debris into our waterways. Non-point source pollution can be described as indirect or unintentional, but still causes large-scale damage. While NPS can be considered indirect, oil spills involve a direct contamination of the marine ecosystem. The direct pollution is caused when a contaminant is put in the water. There are a few examples of this, such as toxic waste dumping, or the littering of chemicals. But the most prominent type of liquid water pollution are oil spills. Ismail Sadoun, in his web entry, describes oil spills in the way when oil is spilled at sea, it intentionally spreads out and moves on the water surface as a slick. It is a few millimeters thick and moves in the wind and current. The spreading marine oil spills is affected by the action of winds, waves, water currents, oil types, and temperature. Oil spills are the most dramatic and well-publicized form of marine pollution. Famous oil spills like the Exxon Valdez are part of history and show the extensive damage that can be done to our oceans, lakes, and rivers. In the context of water pollution, an oil spill is defined as the release of liquid petroleum into the water environment. This is a direct contaminant, as opposed to a diffuse introduction of toxins and non-point source pollution. Both, however, are caused by human activity. In addition to contaminating water, oil spills cause harm to marine life. These animals may ingest the oil, harming the vital organs. They may also absorb the oil through their skin, feathers, or fur. Many animals die from these types of complications. These spills are direct contaminants caused by human error. The definition of the problems of NPS and oil spills are important, but a solution is equally needed. These are several solutions that could possibly have an effect in reducing both of these factors. One possible solution could be establishing scientific studies and new regulations. Why go well, the Chuck details the type of solution in his article. The solution of global problems of marine pollution can only be achieved through international legislative action combined with strong backing by scientific research and monitoring. Many national programs have to be coordinated by an international mechanism. In the final analysis, the problem of global pollution can only be solved by the cooperation of states who control pollution naturally, and first, and then initially second. The solution has some positive aspects. An international cooperative would ensure all countries are working towards the same goal. The addition of scientific research would ensure the measures are effective. However, there are also some negative aspects. One would be that legislative action would be difficult to enforce. Also, scientific research is a long process, and the pollution may already be irreversibly damaged the water before an effective solution is found. While scientific research and an international cooperative may be effective, its long process time may prevent it from producing a large-scale reduction in pollution. Another solution would be physical production measures. In the case of oil spills, could be blowout preventers on the drill itself, preventing an accidental discharge on a casing around the wall itself. Physical measures would also include responses to the spill itself. EPA.gov details the federal response to oil spills on their website. One of EPA's top priorities is to prevent, prepare for, and respond to all oil spills that occur around inland waters of the United States. EPA is the lead federal response agency for oil spills occurring in inland waters. The U.S. Coast Guard is the lead response agency for spills in coastal waters and deep water ports. The solution also has strengths and weaknesses. One strength would be that these types of barriers are effective. They can prevent most accidents when utilized properly. There are also some weaknesses, however. These physical protections are cumbersome and costly. A second major weakness is that it would be impossible to protect all bodies of water in the world at all of the time. Also, there is no possible way to respond quickly enough to every emergency to avoid any damage to the water or marine life. So while physical barriers can stop pollution as it is occurring, there is no ability to prevent for large primitive measures. A third solution would be reducing fossil use. By cutting down the use of gasoline, natural gas, acid, and oil, an impact can be made on both oil spills and non-point source pollution. Using less oil would reduce demand, which will in turn reduce the need for extensive drilling. The less drilling there is, the less likely there is of having an oil spill. Non-point source pollution has an even larger effect on the marine ecosystem than oil spills. One factor in non-point source pollution is fuel runoff from individual cars and trucks. While these are positive points, there are some negative ones. Reducing fuel use by individuals could not be forced, therefore there would always be some who would refuse to participate in the solution. Also, there would have to be a separate mechanism in place to measure the reduction in fuel use to ensure it was actually happening. This could both be costly and complicated, taking many years to implement, and before actually seeing any results as planned. Reducing fossil fuel may be effective on a large scale, but it is also a process that would take an extended period of time. I'm looking at the three major solutions. A proposal is clear. The best solution would be to reduce fossil fuels at the individual level. The solution affects both the two major ocean pollutions, oil spills and non-point source pollution. Reducing fuels involves many people making small incremental changes to do their part. The solution would not involve major regulations or expensive equipment. Also, an overall reduction in fuel usage would affect all bodies of water at one time. Rather than responding to individual emergencies on a small scale, there is a argument to the proposal. Some might feel that physical preventions in response are more effective than fuel reduction. However, fuel reduction is the superior solution for three main reasons. One, it is less costly to cut back on fuel to use expensive response teams and other emergency measures. Second, no emergency response is foolproof, but there is a direct correlation between reducing fuel and reducing marine pollution. Finally, while it would be impossible to respond to every possible emergency every time, reducing fuel will affect all bodies of water worldwide at the same time. All living creatures need water to survive. Water is also a finite resource. Therefore, it is important to find solutions to marine pollution. The most effective solution seems to be reduction of the use of fossil fuels. This will affect all sources of water and mitigate multiple types of pollution.